Welcome on Easy Learning. Now today I am going to start the new chapter. Its name is A Marriage Proposal, written by a Russian writer, Anton Chekhov. So I will at first read the chapter thoroughly, but in single video I will not cover the whole chapter for reading. I will take at least 2 videos for covering the whole chapter because the chapter is very large, and this is why I am going to now start the reading, the first part of this video. A Marriage Proposal, Anton Chekhov. Anton Chekhov, born in 1860 and he died in 1904, a dramatist and short story writer of Russia, was a doctor by profession. He began his literary career by writing comic sketches. He lived in Russia during the rule of the Tsars or the emperors. His works present an accurate picture of the Russia of his day. They also explore the depths of human emotion. Chekhov introduced to the stage the realistic problem of common people. His works often show a comic attitude towards the behavior expected from the elite of that time. Even his saddest plays contain humor. His comedies are based on recognizable human weaknesses. Hence, they portray human life in a sensitive way. His important works include Uncle Vanya 1900, The Three Sisters 1901, and The Cherry Orchard 1904. It is Cherry Orchard or Sherry Orchard. He had a considerable influence on 20th century drama. George Bernard Shaw paid tribute to him in Heartbreak House 1919. The present comedy, A Marriage Proposal, presents characters who cause their own discomfort. A Marriage Proposal characters. So these are the characters of the marriage proposal. The first character is Stepanovich Chubukov. He is a landowner. Second is Natalia Stepanova. She is his 25-year-old daughter. Avian Vasilyevich Lomov. He is their neighbor, a healthy and well-fed but terribly hypochondriac landowner. The action takes place in the drawing room of Chubukov's country house. Scene 1. Chubukov and Lomov. The latter enters wearing tails and white gloves. Chubukov, going over to welcome his guest. Why, of all people, my old friend, Ivan Vasilyevich, how nice to see you. Shakes hands. This really is a surprise, old boy. How are you? Lomov. Very well, thank you. And may I ask how you are? Chubukov. Not bad at all, old friend. With the help of your prayers and so on. Please have a seat. Now really, it's not very nice of you to neglect your neighbors, my dear boy. And what are you all dressed up for? Morning coat, gloves and so on. Are you off on a visit, old boy? Lomov. No, I am just calling on you, my esteemed neighbor. Chubukov. But why the morning coat, old friend? Thus isn't New Year's Day. Lomov. Well, you see, the fact of the matter is, takes his arm, I burst in on you like this. Stepanovich, my esteemed neighbor, in order to ask a favor of you. I have already had the honor more than once of turning to you for help, and you have always, so to speak, but forgive me, my nerves, I must have a sip of water. Dear Stepanovich, drink some water. Chubukov aside. He is after money. Fat chance. To Lomov. What is it, my dear fellow? Lomov. Well, you see, my Stepan Dearovich. Dear Stepanovich. I mean when nerves are in terrible condition, which you yourself are so kind as to see. In short, you're the only one who can help me, although, of course, I have done nothing to deserve it, and I don't even have the right to count on your help. Chubukov. Now, don't beat about the bush, old friend. Out with it, well. Lomov, all right, here you are. The fact of the matter is, I have come to ask for your daughter Natalia's hand in marriage. Chubokov, overjoyed. My dearest friend, Evian Vasilovich, could you repeat that? I am not sure I heard right. Lomov, I have the honor of asking. Chubokov, breaking in. My oldest and dearest friend, I am so delighted and so on. Yes, really, and all that sort of thing. Hugging and kissing him. I have been yearning for this for ages. I have been my constant desire, shed tear, and I have always loved you like a son. You wonderful person. You, may God grant you love and guidance and so on. It's been my most fervent wish. But why am I standing here like a blockhead? I am dumbstruck by the sheer joy of it, completely dumbstruck. Oh, with all my heart and soul, I'll go get Natasha and so on. Lomov deeply moved. Stepanovich, my esteemed friend, do you think I may count on her accepting me? Chubokov, a handsome devil like you, how could she possibly resist? She is madly in love with you, don't worry madly, and so on. I'll call her right away. With it, scene 1 ends. Scene 2 starts with Lomov alone. It's so cold. I am shaking all over. Like before a final exam, the important thing is to make up your mind. If you think about it too long, or whoever talk about it too much and wait for the ideal woman or for true love, you'll never marry. It's called Natalia Stepanova is an excellent housekeeper. She is not bad looking and she's got some education. What more could I ask for? Oh, I am so nervous. I can hear a buzzing in my ears. Drink some water. It would be best for me to get married. First of all, I am 35 years old already, and that, as they say, is a critical age, and then I have to start leading a steady and regular life. I've got a heart condition with a palpitations all the time. I've got an awful temper and am always getting terribly wrought up. Even now my lips are trembling and my right eyelid is twitching. But the worst thing is, when I try to sleep, the instant I get to bed and start dropping off, something stabs me in my left side, and it cuts right through my shoulder, straight into my head. Jump like a lunatic. Walk about a little, and then I lie down again, but the moment I start to doze off, I feel it in my side again, and it keeps on and on for at least 20 times. With it, scene 2 ends. Scene 3 starts. Natalia Stepanova and Lomov. Natalia entering. It's you and Papa. Such a customer has come for the merchandise. How do you do, Evian Vasilovich? Lomov. How do you do, my esteemed Natalia Stepanova? Natalia. I am sorry about my apron and not being dressed. We're shelling peas for drying. Where's you been yourself? Have a seat. They sit down. Would you like a bite of lunch? Lomov. Thank you so much, but I have already eaten. Natalia. Well, then have a cigarette. The matches are over here. The weather's magnificent today, but yesterday it rained so hard that the men couldn't do a thing all day long. How much hay did you get done? Can you imagine? I was so greedy that I had the whole meadow mown, and now I regret it. I am scared that all my hay may rot. I should have waited. But what's it? I do believe you're wearing a morning coat. How original. Are you going to a ball or something? Incidentally, you're getting quite handsome, but honestly, why are you all dolled up? Lomov nervously. You see, my esteemed Natalia Stepanova, the fact is I have made up my mind to ask to listen to me. Naturally, you will be surprised and even angry, but I sighed, God, it's cold. Natalia. What is it, Boswell? Lomov. I'll try to be brief. You are well aware, my esteemed Natalia Stepanova, that for a long time now, in fact since my childhood, I have had the honor of knowing your family. My late aunt and her husband, whose estate, as you know, I inherited, always held your father and your late mother in utmost esteem. The Lomov family and the Chuvakov family have always maintained extremely friendly, one might even say intimate relations. Furthermore, as you know, my property borders on yours. Perhaps you will be so kind as to recall that my ox meadows run along your birch forest. Natalia, excuse me for interrupting you. You said my ox meadows, are they yours? Lomov, of course. Natalia, oh, come now. The ox meadows belongs to us, not you. Lomov, oh no, they are mine, dear Natalia Stepanova. Natalia, that's news to me. How did they ever get to be yours? Lomov, what do you mean? I am talking about the ox meadows that are waste in between your birch forest and the burnt marsh. Natalia, exactly, they're yours, ours. Lomov, no, you're mistaken, dear Natalia Stepanova, they are mine. Natalia, do be reasonable, Ivan Vasilovich. Since when have they been yours? Lomov, since when? They have always been ours, as far back as I can remember. Natalia, excuse me, but this is too much. Lomov, you can look at the documents. Dear Natalia Stepanova, at one time there was some quarrels about the ox meadows. You're quite right. But now everyone knows they're mine. Why argue about it? If you will permit me to explain, my aunt's grandmother lent them to your paternal great-grandfather's peasants for an indefinite period and free of charge in rerun for their firing her bricks. Your great-grandfather's peasants used the meadows free of charge for some 40 years and began thinking of them as their own. And then after the emancipation, when a statute was passed. Natalia, you've got it all wrong. Both my grandfather and great-grandfather regarded their property as reaching all the way to the burnt swamp, which means that the ox meadows were ours. What's there to argue about? I don't understand. How annoying. Lomov, I will show you the documents. Natalia Stepanova. Natalia, no, you're joking or trying to tease me. What a surprise. We've owned the land for practically 300 years and now suddenly we're told it's not ours. I'm sorry, Ivan Vasilovich, but I just can't believe my ears. Those meadows don't mean a thing to me. The whole area probably doesn't come to more than 40 acres. It's worth about 300 rubles. But I am terribly upset by the injustice of it all. You can say what you like, but I simply can't stand injustice. Lomov, please listen to I beseech you. Your paternal great-grandfather's peasants, as I have already had the honor of telling you, fired bricks for my aunt's grandmother. Now my aunt's grandmother wishing to do them a favor in return. Natalia, grandfather, grandmother, aunt, I don't know what you are talking about. The meadows are ours and that's that. Lomov, they are mine. Natalia, they're ours. You can keep arguing for 2 days. You can put on 15 morning coats if you like. But they're ours, ours, ours. I don't desire your property, but I don't care to lose mine. Do as you like. Lomov, I don't need the meadows, Natalia Stepanova, but it's the principle of the thing. If you want, I'll give them to you. Natalia, it would be my privilege to give them to you. They're mine. All this is rather old, to put it mildly. Ivan Vasilovich, up till now, we've always considered you a good neighbor and friend. Last year, we let you borrow our threshing machine, and as a result, we couldn't finish our own grain until November, and now you're treating us like gypsies. You're giving me my own land. Excuse me, but that's not a neighborly thing to do. to my mind, it's impertinent if you care to. Lomov, I'm trying to tell that I am a land grabber. Madame, I have never seized anyone else's property and I won't allow anyone to say I have. Hurries over to the carafe and drinks some water. The old meadows are mine, Natalia's. That's not true. They're ours. Lomov, they're mine, Natalia. That's not true. I'll prove it to you. I'll send a man over to mow them this afternoon. Lomov, what? Natalia, my men will be there this afternoon. Lomov, I'll kick them out. Natalia, you won't dare. Lomov, clutching at his heart, the ox meadows are mine. Do you hear mine? Natalia, stop shouting, please. You can shout your lungs out in your place, but I must ask you to control yourself here. Lomov, madam, if it weren't for these awful, excruciating palpitations and the veins throbbing in my temples, I'd speak to you in a totally different way, shouting, the old meadows are mine. Natalia, ours. Lomov, mine. Natalia, ours. Lomov, mine. With this, scene third ends. Now scene fourth starts. Enter Chubokov. Chubokov, what's going on? What's all the shouting about? Natalia, Papa, please tell this gentleman whom the ox meadows belong to. Us or him? Chubokov to Lomov, why the meadow belong to us, old friend. Lomov, but for goodness sake, Stepanovich, how can that be? Can't you be reasonable at least? My aunt's grandmother lent the meadows to your grandfather's peasants for temporary use and free of charge. His peasants used the land for 40 years and got in the habit of regarding it as their own, but after the land settlement. Chubokov, excuse me, old boy. You are forgetting that our peasants didn't pay your grandmother and so on precisely because the meadows were disputed and whatnot. But now every child knows that they're ours. I guess you've never looked at the maps. Lomov, I'll prove they're mine. Chubokov, you won't prove a thing, my boy. Lomov, I'll so prove that. Chubokov, my dear boy, why carry on like this? You won't prove a thing by shouting. I don't want anything of yours, but I don't intend to let go of what's mine. Why should I? If it comes to that, dear friend, if you mean to dispute my ownership of the meadows and so on, I'd sooner let my peasants have them. Thank you, so there. Lomov, I don't understand what right do you have to give away other people's property. Chubokov, allow me to decide whether or not I have got the right. Really, young man, I am not accustomed to being spoken to in that tone of voice. And what not, I am old enough to be your father, and I must ask you to calm down when you speak to me. So forth. Lomov, no, you are treating me like an idiot and laughing at me. You tell me that my property is yours, and then you expect me to remain calm and talk to you in a normal fashion. That's not a very neighborly thing to do. Stepanovich, you're no neighbor, you're a robber baron. Chubokov, what? What did you say, my good man? Natalia, Papa, have the man mow the ox meadow right now. Chubokov to Lomov, what did you say, sir? Natalia, the ox meadows are our property and I won't let anyone else have them. I won't. Lomov, we'll see about that. I'll prove to you in court that they are mine. Chubokov, in court, my good man, you can take it to court and what not. Go right ahead. I know you. You've just been waiting for a chance to litigate and so on. You're a quibbler from the word go. Your whole family is nothing but a bunch of pettifoggers, all of them. Lomov, I must ask you not to insult our family. The Lomov have always been law-abiding folk. None of them was ever hauled into court for embezzlement the way your uncle was. Chubokov. Early last one of them was insane. Natalia. Every last one of them. Every last one. Chubokov. Your grandfather drank like a fish, and the whole country knows that your youngest aunt, Nastasia, ran off with an architect and whatnot. Lomov. And your mother was a hunchback, clutching at his heart. There's a twitching in my side. My head's throbbing. Oh God, water. Chubokov. And your father was a gambler, and he ate like a pig. Natalia. And no one could beat your aunt at scandal mongering. Lomov. My left leg's paralyzed, and you're a schemer. Oh, my heart. And it's no secret to anyone that just before the election there are stars bursting before my eyes. Where's my hat? Natalia. Vermin, liar, brute. Chubokov. You're a spiteful, double-dealing schemer. So there. Lomov. Ah, my hat, my heart. Where am I? Where's the door? Oh, I think I'm trying. My foot's totally paralyzed. Drags himself to the door. Chubokov, calling after him. And don't ever set your foot in my home again. Natalia. Go to court. Sue us. Just wait and see. Lomov staggers out. With this, scene 4th ends. Now, from scene 5th, I will cover in next part of the videos. But in the next part, I will read, and after then, I will explain in other next parts of the videos. Thank you.